Hollywood is dead, and everybody there knows it. In fact, everybody outside of there knows it. Maybe there are some people that don't know it, but they're just not paying attention. And it all started way back before the strikes. It started when we started to impose a particular ideology tied to tax credits, which kind of drove the town for the last, let's say, 10 to 15 years. And the more that you tied political nonsense to that, the worse it got. And then you had strikes. So the inevitable happened. The thing we told you it was going to happen actually did happen. Hundreds of us here on YouTube and elsewhere telling you, Hollywood, that A, don't fall for this trap, and B, don't fall for this trap. There were two. There was the trap of the ideology and all the nonsense that goes into the productions because of the neo-Marxism that you were in pursuit of. That's number one. But number two was going on strike in every single guild you could find in a way that would make it so that it would be impossible for you to come back with any kind of strength anytime soon. And look, you can say that I'm wrong, but the people watching my channel know I'm right. In looking at what happened to you, we expected it. Maybe you didn't, but we did. And it's interesting because the way it's being reported is, well, soft pedaling it over the course of a year, going into an election, which will certainly spell the doom of anybody's interest in entertainment coming out of Hollywood for probably the end of time. But I'm not going to soft pedal it like the folks in the mainstream media. No, I'm going to give you this, a string of articles that kind of break down everything that's happened from, let's say, January or February at the beginning of the year to where we are now and what's truly happening. Because the rallying cry of survive to 25, that ain't gonna cut it, kids. The Great Contraction hits Hollywood, a headline coming out of Reuters back in February of this year, on the 6th, as a matter of fact, and just talking about the fact that this is, well exposed. You see, peak television was over. Well, peak television had been over for a while, but streaming was supposed to be an infinite source of jobs and revenue and opportunity. Well, it looks like between Oppenheimer and Succession, that might have been the final straw. The era of peak TV is over, said 17 entertainment business executives, agents, and bankers who spoke with Reuters. From fewer original series and movies to greater scrutiny of budgets and a further squeeze on movie theater profits, people who call the shots said the television and film industries are adjusting to sober economic realities. Again, the strikes. Oh, and terrible entertainment practices, but we'll find that in just a moment. Moving on, we got into the month of March. That's right, March 6th over at Hollywood Reporter. The industry is not back. Bad news from Hollywood crews. Well, yeah, we saw this coming a mile away. It wasn't going to be back to work as usual. It was going to be back to work with fewer of you. Because you wanted more money meant there was same size pile, but fewer people. That was predictable. And the gold mine that was promised, well, it turned out to be coal. And the coal's a fixed commodity at a fixed rate that is available for a fixed price. But you raised the price, so now you have less coal miners. Pretty simple to grasp. So they're not back, and it's not getting better. And my friends that work in production, many of them that watch this channel, will tell you they're not back, and it's not good. Moving on, we got to the month of April. That's right, on the 15th, tax day for most of the country, except for California still, for some reason, I don't know. Hollywood contraction. How writers are reacting to ongoing industry-wide cost cutting. Oh, wait a minute. I thought the cost cutting would have already been done. But no, we're 4 months in, and costs aren't anything but cut, and they're getting cut even further. It seems rather endless, with fewer quality projects being put together for fewer and fewer people. Because, well, everybody overspent and overextended because they thought that the savior was streaming, and really they just traded streaming, which is a fixed number of people that might be interested, for 5 or 6 other sources of revenue that seem to do rather well for the last 25 to 35 years. So we did this why? And moving forward, we can see another problem. That's right. Writer earnings were falling. Yeah, 600 million due to strike and industry contraction. Well, I would believe some of that, except that this article was in July, the 27th of this year. 4:30 in the morning. I probably read this live on a 6-minute daily. Don't miss that show. But those earnings fell for wholly different other reasons. They fell because there was less work. There were less writers' room jobs. All of these things that they said or they tried to tell you were going to be a positive, they weren't. And now you have fewer and fewer jobs for fewer and fewer gigs for fewer and fewer time slots and shorter runs of series, which really don't seem to pay as much as you would hope. Gone are the days of 20 to 6 different episodes of a half-hour TV show, maybe a comedy, that you used to work on and get paid for, not to mention the residuals that came from those lovely programs. No. You're lucky if you get 8 episodes in a season, and they really aren't all that good, and people don't really stick around, and there's not enough time to stick in the zeitgeist and become a pop cultural phenom, which is bad for Hollywood. But again, earnings are down. We'll keep going. I'm not done. We've got journal publications and newsletters alike talking about the fact that when are we going to work? There's no business. Hollywood is fini. Well, at least they knew this way back when, because this article, I believe, came out on September 18th. And again, that's a couple months ago. Understanding what was going on, the gold rush, the streaming gold rush, was over. Film and TV workers have been left in the dust, and we told you this would happen, and it happened for a very good reason. What you needed to do was hold out for the things that you weren't willing to hold out for, and that was basically the only way forward. We're watching Disney suspiciously move towards more and more AI stuff. You think that's good for the future of jobs? No, it's also not good for the future of material for those of us who like to consume things. But again, that's another story altogether. You've got media and tech companies pouring hundreds of millions of dollars into Hollywood, and well, they didn't have a lot to show for it. You're going to see a lot of empty studio spaces and maybe even sound stages in the Hollywood area. They'll be full worldwide, but there just won't be as much to go around. But we come to today's, or at the time of this recordings, this is today's headline from Deadline. It rhymed. TCA cancels winter press tour. Uh-oh. Why are the Television Critics Association canceling their press tour? Because there's not much to promote. Is there? Let's read. Blaming contraction in Hollywood, the Television Critics Association has canceled the winter TCA. In a letter to members, TCA President Jacqueline Coulter said, "As you know, Hollywood is in deep contraction." Well, wow, surprise to us. While several streamers, networks, and studios committed, it was not enough for a full press tour. We wanted to be respectful of our members who need to plan, so as a board, we decided on an early November deadline to make this decision. I want to stress something that the members who attended last February and July already know. Those were great tours. Executives I have talked with have been exceptionally positive about the last 2 press tours. Most importantly, each stressed wanting to participate in the summer of 2025 tour, and we already are working toward that. Going so well. Wonder if they'll be able to pull that one off. Some broadcasters and streamers have scheduled their own press events to help promote mid-season programming. For example, Fox has one coming up on November 18th to help promote Special Forces, World's Toughest Test, and The Real Full Monty. Well, I imagine that'll be fun for those of you that go to said events, but the fact that they can't plan full events is even more telling. Hollywood is dying, folks, and it's been kind of in the death rattle for the course of the last few years. We just didn't quite grasp it yet. Well, we did. They didn't. Hollywood's got big problems, and again, they will continue to not make creative things in a creative way with creative people because they've pushed them all out. And Hollywood will be a ghost town instead of a production town, which it had always been. And once again, all driven by greed and politics and the complete disdain that the state of California has for business. Keep electing Gavin, and all you're going to get is good hair. Anyway, those are my thoughts today on the dying Hollywood. Let me know your thoughts. Did you see this coming as well? Were you expecting this to fall off quite as quickly as it has? Do you think they'll be able to bounce back and recover? Or do you think that the tax credit structure and all of the little checkboxes you have to fill out in order to qualify for everything may hold them back significantly? Let me know those thoughts in the comments section down below. And while you're down there, double check you're still subscribed to the channel. And if you're not, please take this opportunity to turn the little red button to gray. I need it. I need to get to 50K. I need YouTube to pay more attention to us. We're important. You're important. So make sure you're subscribed today and turn the bell notification on so you don't miss anything. I do tons of videos every day and a bunch of live streams. In fact, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm somewhere between 8 and 10 hours of streaming in total on those days, which makes me crazy. Also, since this is a somewhat special video, coming up later in the week on Thursday, it's my birthday, and I will somehow magically at least try to hold a birthday live stream. I hope you can make it. On that note, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya.